everybody. Becca Goldsberry here, and welcome to another edition of Talk with Coach, where we deep dive into the realm of sales, leadership, and personal growth. I'm your host, Becca Goldsberry, Elite Sales and Leadership Coach with Southwestern Consulting. I am so excited about today's podcast, y'all. You don't even understand. And so, we're going to embark on another insightful journey with you, whether you're a seasoned professional aiming to sharpen your skills or an aspiring leader hungry for knowledge. This podcast is your compass to success. So join us as we explore strategies, tactics, and mindset shifts necessary to thrive in a competitive landscape of sales and leadership. And we're actually talking with a top producer today in the mortgage world. So get ready to unlock your potential, seize your opportunities, and conquer challenges like never before. Welcome to Talk with Coach. You guys, like I said, I am excited to introduce this person to you. We were introduced almost 7 years ago by a wonderful lady named Jessica. Last name used to be Nash. It is now Evans.
Yeah.
And way back in the day, this fabulous guest of mine was in title. We've been networking. We have become friends. We have become
Mom of young ones again.
Moms of young little kids. We are shenanigan partners. When people see us together, they know that we are up to no good. We are fans of bourbon, and we will sit and chat and talk forever, just sipping on bourbon and having good glass of red wine as well. She's crushing it in mortgage now with an amazing company, Bailey & Woods, here locally in Indiana. Her son Jackson and Thad are literally a month apart. So welcome to the podcast, Miss Brittany Olds.
Thank you so much. I know. I was like, I love our friendship, and you are like, everything you said is so on it. Like, we love shenanigans together. We love bourbon together. We everything. Like, listen, I wouldn't even lie. I had to come down to the local restaurant, and they were like, oh, Brittany walked in, and they just brought me a bourbon.
I should have grabbed a glass of wine or had a bourbon with you today. I mean, you guys, this is just what Brittany and I do.
Yeah. I mean, it's wonderful, and I'm so thankful for our friendship. And you're amazing, and I love how much you have helped me build and grow. Like, I genuinely enjoy our friendship.
Same here. And I love when we get to like go network together, like at different places, and like people don't even know what's about to hit them. They have no clue. Like, to me, that is always the best. When we're like, oh, you're here and you're here. Oh my gosh,
I feel like our husbands always say that too. Like my husband is just like, he won't go to the grocery store with me because he's just like, no, you won't stop talking. And I feel like both of our husbands are very like low key, mellow, don't really enjoy being in the spotlight, and then they married us.
and then guess what? Too bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I think our boys are a lot like us.
They are. So my oldest, Landon, he's 17, and he is a lot like my husband Ryan. He is very calm, collected, just very quiet, takes everything in. And Jackson wakes up and we laugh because the moment that like you can hear him getting out of bed, he is already talking. He is already like 90 miles an hour, and he is just ready to go take on the world. Like, he is. I always laugh and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jackson, do you ever be quiet? And then my husband will be like, he's you all over again. I'm like, yeah, that is right. He's me all over again.
That's the same way. It's like we don't even get to sleep in on a Saturday. I don't even know what sleeping is like. Dad's up like by 7.
I was gonna say, if Jackson, like last Saturday, sometimes we have this fantasy that he can like, oh, we won't put him to bed until like 9:45, 10 o'clock. Maybe we'll get in a little extra. Oh, no. Like, if he sleeps till 7:20, I feel like that's sleeping in. Like, I'm like, yes, we got an extra 20 minutes. That's very rare that happens.
I agree with you. One day we will sleep again.
One day we're just gonna enjoy this. And exactly. Ryan always laughs. My husband, his name's Ryan, he always laughs, and he's just like, Jackson is he'll probably do mortgages with me one day. Landon aspires to be an engineer like my husband, and Jackson will do mortgages with me. Like, he'll be my little sidekick. He's only 5, same as dad. That's a whole other thing. We have so much stuff to talk about, like how we feel about kindergarten starting as moms, but
Oh,
that's for some bourbon and like some tears.
amen, amen. Like this pre-K thing this year, it's just a footstep into next year. I know.
Yeah.
Speaking of mortgages, I would love, so everybody, Brittany started off in the title world, and that's how her and I connect. And it has
Yeah.
been fun to see you transition, take all of that knowledge that you did in title and
Yeah.
transition it into mortgage. And you're right, one day we knew you would go work with Mike. Um,
Always.
right? And so fill us in on how that transition is going, because it's relative, similar industry, but
Yeah.
different rules. So I would love share with everybody kind of your journey.
Yeah. So actually, in 2011, I got licensed as a real estate agent, and I started in real estate. And I also worked at an elementary school then. My background is to be a school teacher and work in the local elementary school at Brush Creek. And I started doing real estate, props to the teachers. They do it for the love, not for the money, like 1,000,000%. And I was just like, man, I really like, I've always loved old houses. I love that kind of thing. So this was a great fit. I transitioned into it, and then I got an amazing offer in the title industry where I was like, I always love challenges. So I actually planted my feet, as you know, Becca, in title for almost 9 years. And it was fantastic. And Mike Wood, who owns Bailey and Wood, and if you guys don't know Mike, I encourage you to like get to know him. He is just the most amazing human being. He truly cares about his community. He has built it from the ground up. He's a Whiteland native, still lives in Whiteland. His kids still go to Whiteland. Like, he is just a fabulous person. And so Mike and I, through this whole title industry, became friends. And he used to always say, hey, what do you think about doing mortgages? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm really happy in the title world. And then he just caught me one day on the right day, and I was like, let's talk about it actually. We've been friends for 9 years, and kind of a little backstory. The very first, so Mike does this fun thing every year. It's kind of like a holiday bash. So it's like an employee award ceremony, but it's also a thank you to our clients. So I've been going to this for many years. Well, the very first one we ever attended, my husband went with me, and he looked at me when we went to leave, and he was like, you're going to work for Mike Wood one day. And I was like, maybe. I mean, I like his passion. I like where he's at in his company. I love how much he cares about his people. I was like, maybe, but I like title. Let's fast forward 9, 10 years later, and it made sense. And I was like, so Mike and I sat down, we had a conversation, and I was like, I actually think I'm ready to take this journey with you. Like I have got to know you. I have saw the amazing things he does, what he gives back. And if you know Mike, what I'm saying is not any kind of news. And if you know me, my passion is our community. It's helping people. It's really the reason I ever started selling real estate is I wanted to help get people in homes. I wanted to experience that happy moment of them. Not that title is not that. I love being in title, but title, like you get the end happy. You're there like to sign the papers. It's fun. It's great. I did sales for them, so I got to connect with the agents. That was all wonderful. But I kind of like was missing of what I originally wanted to dig deep into. And so when I did that, it was, man, I can go back and work for a company who gives back to their small community while helping my community and becoming home ownership. And I would say, I started last January with Mike. I did my training, and then to be a mortgage loan officer, you have to, if you're with a brokerage company, you have to take a state test. And so February 14th of 2023, I got licensed in 2 mortgages, and it has just taken off. I would say that I really started selling in March. So $9 million from then. We're already at like almost $4 million this year. And so much of that is going back to our community. And I would say that my favorite thing is when I sat there with people, they're like, we didn't know this was possible. We didn't know we could own a home. And those are, I love all my clients, but those are my favorite clients. The ones that like, those are your feel goods. Those are the ones that you're like, this right here is why I'm doing this. And Mike just contributes to that. He never says no. I like, for example, I sent him an email earlier and I was like, hey, we have, a community foundation project coming up. And he was like, yeah, tell me what we need and I'm there. Like, we can do it. We opened up, we did a block party where we served, like no cost to anybody. We had bouncy houses, we had food, we had everything. Like, he is all about our small community. And this is my forever home. Like, my husband said it 9 years ago, and I have built this relationship with Mike over the last 10 years, and this is my forever home. Like, I finally, not discrediting any of my previous career choices, like, they were all great, but this is where I was meant to be and plant my feet, and I just absolutely love it.
Well, I was going to say, living here in Greenwood / the Whiteland area, like Mike gives so much of his
Yeah.
time, energy, resources. Like when the tornado hit, like literally
Yes.
a mile and a half from my house,
Yeah.
and like there was homes devastated. It went right by your guys' office here in Whiteland, like all of the things. Bailey and Wood like stepped up for the
Yeah.
community and was helping out. He was giving free lunches
Yeah.
to firemen and first responders. Like,
Yeah,
I
we had it in
love.
our parking lot and it was like, come get food. Like, we appreciate you. And we are still, so this Friday, the 19th, we are doing a, help our community event. And, like, Brian Brent and his team are kind of helping lead it. And we are still helping people that were devastated from that. We have a house across from our office that is still needing help. And he's getting people together so we can help paint or do whatever needed, and because they were devastated by these tornadoes. And so
Absolutely.
it is just, mike Mike does a wonderful job of hiring people who also care about community. I mean, he doesn't just hire anyone. It is, are you here to care for people? And he wants people who have the same values as him. And I love that.
Well, and I was going to say, a lot of the people I hear are still waiting to get the check from
Mhm.
the insurance a
Yeah.
year, like over a year later. Like
Yeah.
they're still waiting. And so the houses still have tarps on them, some of them. Some of the roofs aren't done still. Like all. And so I love that you guys are chipping in and helping out. And it's a fabulous company. And those are the kind of people that you and I gravitate towards is
It is, and that's the thing. You just gravitate towards them, and just for example, the other day, like, we have a hometown heroes program. We do our golf outing, which Becca has been fantastic about being a sponsor of as well. We do our hometown hero, and we pick someone local that could really benefit from that. And I mean, guys, we're talking, we raised $30,000 to $40,000 for this, and Mike doesn't, like, all of those proceeds just go to help our hometown hero. We have a hometown hero program. For example, I have a loan coming up. The gentleman is a high school coach. Guess what? He is eligible for hometown hero because he is giving back to his community. He is coaching his community, and so we're giving him money back for being that. So there is so many things that we do to give back, and you will never hear, I promise you will never hear Mike Wood brag about it, talk about it, because he just loves to give back to his community and make sure that they are successful, because he knows that the core portion of you being successful is supporting those people.
mm. Speaking of success, what's the best business advice that you've ever received? Because we've talked about this. There's like so
Yeah.
many nuggets you and I have taken away from,
Yeah.
we've talked about it over the last, 7 years, but what's some of the best business advice that you've ever received?
I've received a lot, but one of the things that I just stand by is your customer service is what makes you stand out.
Mm,
Genuinely caring about someone, being there for someone. Um, I just love that. We all could sell the same product, but if you care about someone and you're doing it for the right reasons, that's the best thing. And I was an Indiana sales manager for a while, and I used to tell people, like, you're not here to sell what you do. Like, let them get to know you and your heart, and if you're in it for the right reasons, good is going to follow you. So that was always my best advice. So sometimes I take it to a fault, and Becca knows I work nonstop and like crazy,
Yes.
and I would love like, God bless you, Becca. You've been trying to get me on this work-life balance for a really long time now, and
One more
I'm
time.
horrid at it. I'm horrid.
Hey, Mike, we got to work on this with her.
We're working on
FYI.
it. Like, please, people help me because I'm really bad. Because I just, and you know, my new thing that I said the other day is, especially since being in mortgages, what I've learned is I will never, if you are in your home buying journey, I will never say to you no. I will tell you when. When can you buy? For some people, that might be sooner than others, but it's never
Yeah.
a no.
Well, let's talk about this because there are so many misconceptions right now that
Yeah,
people are having, and they're freaking out about the mortgage rates. They're
yeah.
like, I can't buy a house. I don't want to buy a house. Like, realtors are like, woe is me right now. And I saw a post from a realtor client of mine, and she posted the mortgage interest rates in
Mm-hmm.
5 year increments, I think
Yeah,
starting in like 1975 until now.
yeah,
You guys, it has reached to 14%. Back in 1980 and 85 was down to like
yeah.
12%. And then normal is literally around 7%. If you like averaged it out, normal is 7%.
Yeah, yeah, it is 7 to 8%. And I always tell people so Bailey and Wood offers a no lender fee refinance. And so if you bought today and this time next year, the rates went down, you will not have to pay lender fees on that. We can refinance you. We will waive the Bailey and Wood fees, and you still have your title fees and stuff. But those are very minimal, and you can wrap those back up into your loan. So I always tell people you want to buy now, because if rates do go down, and I'm just gonna be honest. The days of seeing like a 2, 3, 4% interest rate, they're
Yeah,
probably never coming back. And if you got one of those, I was one of those people.
me
Great
too.
for you. Great for you. That is might be your forever home. But if you got one and it's not your forever home, there's solutions to that. Like, you are capitalizing on what your home is worth now. Like that's fantastic. So you might have that rate, but you have so much equity in it because of that. But if you're going to sit here and wait until those rates come back down, you're gonna be waiting for a really long time. I don't know if you'll see it in your lifetime, for a really long time. But if you also wait until they come down to that 6%, which I do think we'll see like sixes. I do. But if you
Maybe a
wait,
5.5. Maybe a
maybe.
5.5.
Yes, yes. I
Maybe.
give you, yes, absolutely. And if you wait for that, your price of your home is going to go up. So why not buy now when the prices are low? And then if you finance with Bailey and Wood, then we
There you
will
go.
refinance you for that lower rate, but you already have the home you want at a lower price.
Absolutely.
That is the ideal, and that is, I have teamed up with a lot of local agents, and they have had buyers who've been like, no, 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 I don't want to buy now, I want to wait till rates drop. I had a closing today, and my closing was one of those guys, and he said, I did not want to buy until Jared, this agent, until he said, hey, I don't want to buy now. And then Jared was like, oh, you should talk to Brittany. And then he talked to me, and we closed today because he was like, that was a great offer. Like, that was fantastic that I could buy now, but I know, and I got the price I wanted on this house. And
Yeah.
then if they do go down in 6 to 7 months or a year from now, I mean, this is good for up to 5 years. So they could go down 2 years from now, and then he can refinance and it not cost him anything. So that is what, like, if you were an agent and you were wanting to partner up, and I will gladly go with you, and I will talk to you and your clients and be like, hey, this is what we offer. I will give you material to present this, because that is the key. I want agents to be successful, us to be successful. Like, I want to help you be successful.
I don't like hearing people that I know or people that I talk to feeling stuck because
Yeah.
they're so worried about rates. Like,
Yes.
to me, like, why are we, like, people are getting depressed about it, they're anxious about
Yeah.
things, and I'm like, there's ways that you can work through this. I know
Yeah.
this, right? So I love because you guys do a lot of education with
Yeah.
agents because there's a lot of agents who aren't working like they used to
Yeah.
because it's not as easy to get the buy-in with the client. So I love that you guys are trying to do everything you can to
Yeah,
just
however we
educate
can
people.
help. Yeah. And you know, if you're an agent, like we do, like you said, we do tons of training. We have what I consider, maybe I'm biased. We have one of the best marketing teams there is. I mean, they will go if you are just trying to get your agents riled up about something, we will do new headshots for you. We will do social media training. I mean, let's just be honest, that's where it's at. And you know, I just had meetings on Tuesday and Wednesday with the company and it was talking about social media. Like people want to see what you're doing. And so, you know, if you follow me on social media, you'll see I post every single closing I have because it is a shout out to that agent. Like, props to you for being able to navigate this crazy environment. It is also a yay for the borrowers, for the sellers. It is great. And then if people see that, they are like, oh, well, maybe I should reevaluate buying as well, or maybe I should get with that agent, or however it is. We are just really looking forward to promoting you and helping in any way we can.
Oh, I know. Okay, so one of my favorite things I love about you is that I know your favorite quote is a Taylor Swift quote,
It
right?
is.
Okay, you guys.
Yes.
So here's Brittany's. Hers is no matter what happens in life, be good to people.
Get to people.
Be, yep, being good to people is a wonderful legacy to leave behind, and that's what we've been talking about today. And so, how are you? Because you've seen all sides of the industry,
Yeah.
right? Like you've seen it all. What are like your biggest takeaways right now, where you're at in your business? Like, where do you see the industry going? Right? Like, I know being good to people, community service, like it's what you guys do, it's what you guys live and breathe. But
Yeah.
thinking past all that,
Yeah.
where do you think the industry is shifting to? What do you
You know,
see?
I do. I think that we are going to have more home buyers. I really do. But I also think that it is about educating the home buyers. Like some of them just they don't understand it. They don't recognize it. But also those people who have maybe not been educated in how to buy a home or what to do. If educating them, helping them. You know, I have a couple buyers right now that like I said earlier, they were like, I didn't know I could do this. But then once they start talking about it, they're like, wow, you made this really easy. And I will never, and I can say this for everyone I know at Bailey and Wood, I'm not going to look at your past. I'm not going to judge your past. Like, what can we do to get you in a home? If you come to me and your goal is to own a home, which I mean, that I won't say that's everyone's dream because some people are like, they want somebody else to take care of it, and that's fine. Like, you are okay with that. But I would say 80% of the Americans, like your dream is to own a home, but maybe you're too scared. I just had a meeting with another local agent yesterday and I told him, I said, you know, sometimes I have to know my clients. I have to know what I'm dressing up for. You know, if I'm meeting a CEO of a company, he wants to see me dressed up and looking good. If I'm meeting someone who is my blue collar worker, maybe they feel more comfortable talking to me when I'm in a pair of jeans and tennis shoes and a t-shirt. It's all about how can I make this be more comfortable for you? How can we get you to home ownership? And kind of back to my quote that you said earlier, like how can you be good to people
Mm.
and build them up? Like that is my whole goal. And I know you know me and you know that's
Oh
accurate,
yeah.
but I always tell people like I always want to leave people better off than when you met me. So you could be fantastic when we met, but did I leave you in a better position when we said goodbye? And so I really think kind of just a lot of that was a little squirrel moment of a lot of stuff. But
Perfect.
I really think that our industry is going to more people want to own a home. They want affordability. They want to know, you know, as rents are going to keep increasing, like, okay, well, my rent for a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom home is $1,900, but you're telling me that I could have a 4 bed two bath for $1,600. Like
Right.
I want that, and it's mine, and I can do what I want with it. So it is just, I do think that we are going to find more people wanting to buy and move into that. But I also think we're going to have to navigate that younger generation. And like I said earlier, I have a 17-year-old who's going to be 18 in June, and navigate. I know that's mind blowing to me.
I'm just like sitting here going, I remember when he was 10.
I know, right?
I'm like,
Like,
oh my gosh.
I know people always ask me, they're like, Selena was like 13 when you had Jackson. And I'm like, yeah, at that time it didn't really seem like that big of an age difference. But now I'm like, no, one starting his senior year this next year, he's graduating in December, and my other one's starting kindergarten. So I'm like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
I will have one graduating from kindergarten, one graduating from high school, and that's okay.
Right. That's okay.
I'm eager to see the differences in when Jackson is that age to when now Landon's that age.
Well, let's look at it generationally, right?
Yeah.
So you've got the baby boomers, they're all retiring and they're now downsizing to smaller homes because
Mm.
that's just the part of life.
Yeah.
Uh, you've got Gen Xers, my
Yeah.
age, where we're, you know, okay, so except for me and Michael, like we've got a 5-year-old, but most of them, like their kids
Yeah.
are graduating high school, college, those things, and they're
Yeah.
thinking about, okay, do we buy a second, like a vacation home somewhere?
Yeah.
And then you've got then the millennials, and it's funny, the millennials and the Gen Zers, you know, people didn't think they would want to buy homes.
Yeah.
The market was wrong. They predicted that 10 years ago. When I started
Yes.
Southwestern, they said millennials and the next generation will be renters. And look at the housing boom
Yeah.
because they don't. They actually want roots somewhere.
Yes.
And so now you've got a lot of home builders, you know, building homes and all of those things that, you know, is creating demand and there's not enough houses.
That's the problem. I was going to say
That's
that.
the
There's not
problem.
enough houses, not
You
enough
don't have houses.
land. There's not. You know, Jennings County just they have opened up. They're doing a thing, Heritage Heights, and it's going to bring homes, which we're really excited for. But then there's kind of a shift in that of I really have a lot of approved buyers in that 160 to 200 range because as much as our economy is the prices of everything are going up, unfortunately sometimes pay is not. So I have very hard workers, but they can't afford those $200,000 homes or $250,000 homes. And honestly, unfortunately, the days of us having 120 to $130,000 homes are really going away. Those just aren't there anymore. And so it's now a challenge of what can we do to make you be able to afford a home. And
Well,
that's the biggest challenges right now.
absolutely. So like the homes that were 250 are now 350.
Yeah.
Everything's increased by 100,000. So the homes that were 150, they're 250 now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
The market.
Yeah. And that is just that's it. Like I have lots of borrowers who are pre-approved. They're like, Brittany, we just can't find anything in our range. And like it makes me want to go out and like build a subdivision for like 150 to 200,000.
Why
It's just,
not? Why not just add that to your plate, girlfriend? I mean,
you
like, let's just
know,
get it off. Why not?
don't put it past me.
I know. I know.
Nobody tell my husband. If my husband's watching this, babe, I'm just kidding.
We're joking. We're
Yeah,
joking.
it's
It's
fine.
okay.
Yes, yeah, but I am excited to see, and I'm really excited to see the people want to own homes and have their own little roots, like you said. They really are wanting to dig down into that, and I do think there is something, you know, but to the contrary, you know, my parents, they just sold their home, so they had a huge house in the country, 10 acres. They sold it probably 4 or 5 years ago. They downsized and bought a smaller home that was just on a little acre land, and it was a ranch style home, you know, 1,400 square feet, beautiful. And then now they've decided that my parents picked up the end of January, and they moved to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and
I didn't
they
know that. You didn't tell
yeah
me that.
yeah. So they just decided that they wanted a little something different. And so they moved to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and they have a beautiful home there. And my mom's like, I don't think we want to buy. I think we're just going to rent for right now. They got a brand new build. It is, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms actually, and wonderful price. And that's the era they're in. And we all might hit that. We might have the renting stage to the owning stage, and then back to the renting stage, and that's okay. Like that is okay. And I love this for them. Plus, I have an awesome place to go visit. So
I was going to say road trip, like
yeah, right.
road
Yeah.
trip. So I love that. Is there anything that you would do differently starting your mortgage career? If people are looking, okay, so here's the funny thing. Most people don't say, I'm going to grow up and be a salesperson. I'm going to grow up
No.
and be in sales. Nobody, you guys, nobody,
No.
we never say this. Anybody
No.
in sales is probably like, yep, Lord, I have a master's in social work. I was a
Yeah.
therapist at first.
Yeah.
We don't just grow up and say, I want to be in sales.
No,
But
you do not, and that's so funny you said that. Like there was no part of me like high school me wanted to be a veterinarian, and then I landed in teaching. There was no part of me that was like I want to grow up and be a mortgage consultant. That's what I want to do.
But if there is somebody out there who's listening to this and they're like, you know what, I thought about it, what would be a couple things that you would say highly recommend if you want to become, start a career in mortgage? What would you tell them? What would be your advice?
I actually would say give me a call. I will tell you the honesty of it. It is not if you want a 9 to 5 job, this is not for you. Um Not at all. Like it's kind of a all hours kind of thing, but it's very rewarding. Also I would just say, hey, come and check out Bailey and Wood. We have a ton of awesome originators. Ask them how they got started in this. Ask them if they like it. Ask them how it is. And also, you might just love it. If you love sales, you love numbers and
I love
financing.
numbers. I love numbers.
You have to love numbers. And I'm not talking like I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I do not like algebra, like XYZ equals an orange is not my thing. But percentages and crunching those numbers, that's my thing. And so if that is for you, you genuinely should look into this because it is a very rewarding career. But a lot of sales, as Becca and I know, they are on commission based. So you have to be good with money. You have to be okay with knowing that, hey, if I get a $20,000 payday, like I might not have another one for 2 months. So I need to fluctuate that, or how does that work? So there is some ups and downs with it, but it is such a rewarding career. Like I laugh and I could never go back to a 9 to 5 job. Like if I ever had to clock in anywhere, I mean, heck, Becca, I was 20 minutes late today. So if I ever have to clock in anywhere, I will fail. They will fire me.
Oh my gosh. I'm just laughing here because my job's not a 9 to 5, but I've made it into that role because at that school.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I'm taking in and out, right? So that's the fun part. Being in sales, you have the flexibility to make it what you want it, but it's obviously you have the passion and the love for what you do. And
Absolutely.
to me, that means everything.
Yes. Yes, it does. I also just can't help but notice, but I love your Kentucky blue today.
I did it for you because I seriously, I was like, all right, I'm going to put my Kentucky blue for you, but it's also my Colts blue.
It's your what?
Colts blue, my
Oh, it
Indianapolis.
is your Colts blue. I give you that. I give you that. It is your Colts blue. So
It is
it's
Colts blue.
like it's like double
It is
purpose.
double doing, yes.
Okay.
Because I knew
Okay.
I was going to put it on because I was, I know Mike is, I knew we were going to talk about Mike, and I'm like, because I know he's a big Dolphin
Gators,
fan. Yeah,
Dolphins and Gators. Yeah. So he
yeah.
probably loves your blue too. I
I
mean,
figured,
we're gonna tell him it's for Kentucky though.
okay. It's cool. Which is, tie into, that's a really unique thing here in Indianapolis that
Yes.
Mike has been able to partner with my
Jeff
all-time
Saturday.
favorite football player of all
Yes.
times, Mr. Jeff Saturday. Brittany, I literally, in college, I played powder puff. I don't know if you knew this, but I played powder puff football in
Like that.
college. Did you know that?
No.
And I was a center. So when we recruited and got Jeff on the Indianapolis Colts, he was my guy. Me and my sister were Jeff Saturday fans, and
I love that.
when he left to go to Green Bay his last year, I felt betrayed. Like I was like so betrayed. I was
You're
like,
like, listen, I love you. Where did you go?
I did, and then like and when Peyton left to go to, Brittany, are you still there? There you go. And then when Peyton left to go to the Broncos, I just thought the world was going to end for like a season, but then we're okay. We got through it. We
You'll be
got through
okay.
it, and
I mean,
now
I'm kind of feeling that with you right now. Like, as I'm sure because it's blowing up everywhere. Kentucky is getting a new coach. Um,
mm,
people ask, how do you feel about that? And I'm optimistic. I actually like. I'm kind of excited about Hope. I really am. Like, it's contrary to other people's thoughts, but I think that he has the passion and the love, and he is a Kentucky. Like, he played at UK, won a
I know.
championship. Like, I'm feeling okay about it.
Was that the last championship Kentucky won when he was there in '96?
Yeah, 96, 97. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because
So
I also heard sports rumor was the UConn coach was being interviewed by Kentucky too, and I'm like, I don't know if he would leave like UConn after winning back to back.
I can't
I don't see
imagine
that
because
one.
I had saw something that said that his whole goal was to win three consecutive championships, and obviously he couldn't do that if he left UConn. So I was never optimistic that he was going to leave, and I think I'm actually okay with it. There's going to be growing pains, and I might cry a lot during the season, but it's okay. Hey, Mark Stoops, like, go UK football. It's fine. Mark isn't leaving us. It's okay.
That's right. And it's funny because everybody's like, "All right, girls, why are we talking about sports?" But
Yes. Yes.
there's a lot of commonality between sports and business, y'all. We know
Yeah,
this.
there is, and we're just trying to get the other people, like, give you something interesting to talk about. Maybe mortgage isn't your thing, but football or whatever
Football,
is. But kind of back to
and
Jeff
we're both,
Saturday, though. I mean,
yeah.
he is a fabulous human being. I mean, I just don't know a better person. And like, he is so, you would never even, it's funny because I obviously knew him playing for the Colts, and he has the most beautiful eyes. And I will just always tell him this, like, they're just so pretty. But he is such a good guy. And so before I worked for Bailey and Wood, I was at a golf outing, and he came around and I had a picture. And so my husband was like, "Oh, did you get to talk to Jeff Saturday?" And I was like, "No, I don't think I saw him." A few weeks later, my husband was like, "You're in a picture with him." And I'm like, I didn't even think about that. I was like, I just sat there and talked to him like we were just old buddies, and I had no clue who he was because he had his sunglasses on, and he just looked different. So I didn't know it was him. And so he always thinks that's funny. That story is funny. That I had no idea it was him. But he is genuinely, I mean, we just when Jeff decided to kind of team up with Bailey Wood and be our spokesperson, it, like, we didn't know all that we were getting with such a genuine man. Such a genuine man. Class act,
Well,
honestly.
I was going to say, and he cares about Indiana still, even
Yes.
though I think he still lives in Georgia, if I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
correctly. Like he is still very
yeah.
Indianapolis, cares about the community. It always seems like a lot of Colts players, even if they move away, they still come back.
Yeah.
Peyton still comes back, right?
Yeah.
Like there's just something about our community that everybody always ends up loving.
Yeah, I think we're just good people. I do genuinely believe Indiana is just good people. I used to be like, oh man, why did my ancestors pick to come here? But it is just, there is good people, and that just, that's why my husband and I have both still reside in the hometown that I mean, he graduated from Shelbyville in third grade. He moved to Shelbyville, but I've always lived in Jennings County my whole life. And like, there's something about the same thing as when you're younger, you don't like, because if so and so saw you out on a Friday night, they're going to call your mom and tell your mom that you were out too late. But then those
Yep.
are the same things as an adult. You're like, I appreciate that, and that's why I want to be a part of this. Like, they care and look out for each other, and that's just what it's about.
Southern Indiana, it's just like that though.
Yes, yes,
Jackson County, North Jennings
yeah,
County, our people are just very much that way.
they
And
are.
everybody knows everybody, and everybody's related to everybody, and we all know the scoop. And it's kind of funny. Sometimes my sister will be talking, I'm like, when did that happen? Or what? She's like, that's what you get for moving to the big city. And I'm like, I know, I know, I
Right,
know.
right.
But don't forget the husband was the one who moved me up. But he's like, oh, we can move back down. We'll move back down. And I'm like, I'm sure you will. So,
Uh-huh.
uh, we'll see.
Well, if
We'll
you do,
see.
you'll be in my neck of the woods. So that's even better.
That is
And it's not
correct.
even like you're that far. What are you, like 45 minutes? So it's not even like it's that far.
Right. But sometimes it seems that way when we're trying to catch up and grab urban. So
I
let's
know.
leave it
All the
there.
time.
All the time. One day we will figure it out and make time to do that. But
Yes.
it's so I appreciate you hopping
Yes.
on, being amazing as always, being such
Yes.
a friend, and being just a resource for everybody in our community.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much people appreciate you because I literally saw Jessica this week. I did a workshop for Title Alliance this
I
week
love that.
and Keller Williams, and Jessica and I were talking about you, and she goes,
Oh,
"Brittany is just there for everybody, so just know everybody appreciates you and what you do for everybody."
I love that. And I love Jessica. You know, her and I started in the title. Like, she'd been in it for a little bit longer, but like when Jessica
Yeah.
left, like I was truly sad because I had transitioned to her and I started at the same time. And then her and I, one of my favorite stories to tell about Jessica, and she will absolutely love I'm telling this, is her and I were a team. Like, I had moved to be a manager at this point in time, and like it was just her and I. Like, I will not lie to you guys. Like, I mean, we were grinding. Like, I took us from having like 4 orders a month. And when I say orders, like purchase agreements, closings, blah, blah. So we were at 4 orders a month to the next thing we know, the next month we're at like 38. And it's just her and I. And we're just like, what the hell are we going to do? And I'm sorry, but what are we going to do? And so I walk in and we are there late. It's like 9:30 at night. I walk in and she hands me a coffee cup. And I just looked at her and I'm like, I don't want coffee. And she was like, just here, take it. And I was like, Jessica, I don't want any coffee tonight. And she's like, will you just smell it? And I was like, oh, it's wine. It's wine. Her and I sat there and we drank wine out of a coffee cup while we finished post closing everything. And I still have a picture. I'm not kidding you, Becca. We probably did 20 closings that day between her and I. And this stack was just
Oh,
like, I mean, it was huge. It was huge. And
oh
and
my
I have just always, I mean, and Jessica's husband is a huge Kentucky fan, so we can connect on that. And Jessica's a
yes.
lot like Ryan. They just had to marry Kentucky fans, so it's fine. But I love Jessica. She will always have just this dearest special place in my heart. Like, her and I were in the trenches together.
You absolutely were. So I always end on Brittany, what is the funniest story you can share with us about you growing up?
Oh, well, this one's funny. I think you read this. So I am deathly scared of spiders. And I always
Me
tell
too.
people this. And I'm like, and they're like, why are you so scared of spiders? So I lived in the country. I grew up, I was a farm girl. I showed cattle, showed pigs, all of the good things. And my dad had a barn, and, you know, wolf spiders, they actually carry their babies on their back. Well, 12, 13-year-old Brittany didn't know that. And so there was a big, I mean, I'm not even being exaggerating, it was like big. And it was across the floor. I stomped on
Mhm.
it. And when I did, all of these babies ran up my leg. And my leg turned black. I was screaming. I went and jumped in the pool to get them off of me. To this day, my 30 years later self is like, nah, I can see a spider. I'm like, I'm not stepping on it. I don't know who's stepping on that, but it's not me. Like, so it is, people find it very comical. I do not. It's still very traumatizing to me. And I hate spiders to this day. And to the point that Ryan and I, one time we went to Patoka Lake, and Ryan was in charge of getting the cabin. And he got the cabin, and I walked in behind him, and he was like standing in the middle of the room, and I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, but I gotta use the bathroom. Well, before we saw this cabin, like, and we were going in, I was like, that looks like it's infested with spiders. And he was like, it's not, it's fine, it's just a fisherman cabin. And I was like, okay. Well, it was about, I don't know, 2, 3 months later, he was like, hey, I gotta talk to you about the cabin we were in. I said, yeah. And he's like, remember when you walked in, I was in the middle of the room? He said, yeah. He goes, and Ryan does not, like, he's not scared of spiders. He doesn't exaggerate. He goes, I walked in and I thought it was a tarantula. He goes, Brittany, it was every big of this big around. And he was like, it was a tarantula. He goes, I stomped on it. It crunched. Guts went everywhere. I was just thankful to God you had to use the bathroom and you ran around me. And he goes, I picked it up. I put it in the trash. I never told you because I knew if I told you, you were going
You'd
to
be
pack
hot.
us up. Oh, I was leaving. Like, I would have slept in the truck before
I
I
would
did
have
that.
too.
No, absolutely not. Well, then it gets even better. He tells me that so I said something about spiders, and he was like, there's no spiders, no spiders. And so he was like, there was no spiders because this spider ate every spider there was. There was no spiders there. Well, we came home and he was unpacking his suitcase, and he was like, I think I found his baby. But I was like, oh my God, there's big spiders in our house. And I was like freaking out. There was no spiders. He called and had an exterminator come and spray our house. And I thought it was really just he was being really nice. He's like, no, I did it because I was convinced if any of those spiders came back with me, you would lose your mind. So
Absolutely. I'm
the
right there with
deathly terrified of spiders is a real thing.
you too. Like, even if it's like the teeny
Yep.
tiny spider, I kill it. I
Yeah.
don't do spiders. My sister and brother would tell you all kinds of stories about
No.
spiders.
Yeah.
My brother will see stuff on Facebook, and he'll like send me like an instant messenger to show me. I'm like, quit showing me these
Right. Why do
creepy
you
things.
do that? My brother does the same thing. It must be a brother thing because my brother does the same thing. And I'm like, I'm not opening that, but thanks.
I know. But, well, you guys, this wraps up another
Yes.
empowering episode of Talk with Coach with the amazing Brittany Olds. I hope you find today's insights valuable and actionable. Remember, growth is a journey and every step forward counts. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe on our podcast on my YouTube channel and Spotify channel for more inspiring content and amazing guests. I'd love to hear with you, share your thoughts, questions, and topic suggestions by reaching out to me on social media or my website. Until next time, keep striving for greatness, keep pushing your limits, and remember your success story is waiting to be written. This is Becca Goldsberry. Take care and make it a blessed day.
Bye.